This is a story about a girl who really wished that back then she knew what she was talking about when it came to Twitch Plays Pokemon Black and Black 2. And this is also the story about a girl who, halfway through her video, her computer fucked up. Yeah. Sad, isn't it? Hello everybody, Sam Atari here, and welcome back to another episode of Sam Talks Twitch Plays Pokemon. Now the thing is, my Heart Gold one I fluffed up and I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't even know the team. And basically I'm kind of in the same situation where I kind of know what the team is like, and I just looked at a picture of it because I'm like, I swear this is the one, and yeah, like, okay. So anyways, Twitch Plays Pokemon Black, obviously right after the end of Heart Gold, which was an amazing, amazing game. Granted, I didn't get into it very much, but the last battle was actually pretty cool because we got to fight off against Alice from Fire Red. That was an amazing game, and then we moved straight into Black. Now, the thing is, I was looking forward to Black version. I actually really enjoyed Black and White version myself. I obviously had White version, and I played as a female. And the thing is, I didn't really like it at first just because it was something different, and I thought it had moved too far away from what Pokemon, used to be. And for a while I put it down, but then when I came back into it, I was like, oh, this game's actually really awesome. I just never realized it before. So, and that changed my mind about that. So I was actually looking forward to see, what we were going to be doing in Pokemon Black. Now, the thing is, I didn't really stick with this series much either. I didn't come back into the full swing of things until Black 2. And so my knowledge on Black isn't that much, but I will tell you a little bit about the lore. Now the thing is I really like the way that this character was developed. Jimmy, which is our main guy, basically he starts out the same as everybody else. He's not a Pokemon trainer. And the thing about him is that he's actually pretty much a loner. Not really a loner, but he's pretty much one of those isolated nerds that just sits in their house on their laptop all day long. Oh wait, like me. No, but seriously, he sits inside all day. He plays his video game, which is Entralink. So I like how they turned Entralink into like this online MMO. And so his mom's always like, "Are you on Entralink again?" And he's like, "Maybe." Like, he's really defensive about it because he knows that people look down on his hobby. And he doesn't really like that. And he kind of hates that he is such a normal, like, mediocre type person that he's easily forgettable. He says that the only place that he's really cool is online, which is Entralink, obviously. And so one day, he's on Entralink, and his mom's like, "That's it, no more Entralink until you do your homework." And he gets really upset about it, and he goes and starts doing his homework, and it's a history type thing. It's like a history research, whatever. And so as he's reading, he starts learning about the voices. And as he's reading about the voices, he learns, that Red and AJ and all these kids were just normal kids until the voices came along, and then they set out and they did extraordinary things. And the thing is he was looking at all these people, and I guess he didn't even realize that he was looking at people that were possessed by the voices. He was just reading about these kids that went out and conquered, criminal organizations and etc. And he literally looked at that and he's like, well, shit, if those kids can do it, I can do it too, and that was what really spurred him to become a Pokemon trainer, which I think is really, really cool because he's wanting to be something more than what he is. Now, the thing with Jimmy is that throughout the game, he really was pretty normal. We started out with a Tepig, and of course, the Tepig did not stay in our party, which pretty much at this point, every time we have a fire starter, it's known as the Curse of Fire. And the thing is, Solarion supposedly, in Emerald, or not Emerald, was it Emerald? No, yes, no, yes, fuck if I remember. No, Solarion wasn't Emerald, fuck, it was Platinum. What the fuck am I talking about? Sorry, I just woke up. Solarion in Platinum version was supposedly the one that kind of broke that barrier of fire being a curse, because we barely ever had anybody with any fire attribute in our team. We'd gotten rid of Kenya, we'd gotten rid of Abby, we'd gotten rid of, the other Flareon that we had in Red version. We'd gotten rid of so many fire-type Pokemon because of this supposed curse of fire. And I liked how this kind of spurred a discussion among the members of the TPP community, where they're really like, okay, is there really a curse of fire? Or are we really just, at this point, are we making it happen? Are we purposefully getting rid of fire Pokemon because of the curse of fire, and we kind of want to act like it's a real thing. So by this point, after Solarion and the fact that Tepig was, put into the PC, blah, everybody's like, I'm starting to see a pattern that, this is being done on purpose. So anyways, sorry, I'm moving a lot. But anyway, so basically what happened was, the reason why Pokemon Black was so profound was that Jimmy actually probably had the weakest Pokemon out of anybody in the history of TPP. The thing is we are notorious for having unevolved Pokemon because of bots that come in and spam the B button whenever a Pokemon's, evolving. But occasionally, the bots go away and we kind of sneak in a few levels and we can finally get our evolved Pokemon. We'll usually have 1 or 2 Pokemon per team that are not fully evolved. This is normal, and it happens, and we're used to it. But Jimmy's team was something completely different. Jimmy's team, we had a Joltik, we had a Deerling, we had a Tranquil, because it hadn't turned into an Umphasit yet. We had a Tranquil, a Zebstrika, a Tympole, and I think we had something else, and I'm not sure what it is. I'll be looking at it here in a moment, so just give me a quick sec. Okay, Druddigon was the other one, duh. Okay, so Tympole, Tranquil, Deerling, Joltik, Druddigon, and whatever else I just missed. I know I named them all at one point, but that's basically our team. And as you can see, every single one of them was unevolved except for the Zebstrika, which was the only fully evolved one, and then Druddigon, which has no evolutions whatsoever. And then that very same girl, realizing her mistake, went back and then made another Black and Black 2 video, because it's supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be really sad, because how long have I fucking been doing this? And you know, plot twist, it's an M. Night Shyamalan film, no, plot twist, this girl, this poor, sad, pathetic girl, later went on to record this new Black and Black 2 video, only to realize she had one already, because even though you would think that this whole time she was only trying to remedy her past mistake by figuring out what the hell she was talking about and making a decent Black and Black 2 video, no, she just didn't know that she had made one to begin with. She totally forgot it was in her folder, and instead of finishing what she started, she made an entirely new video instead. And now, you finally get to see it. The real Black and Black 2 video. Hello everybody, Sam Matara here, and welcome to another video of Sam Talks About Twitch Plays Pokemon. Now, I know it's been forever, and everybody's like, oh man, Twitch Plays Pokemon ended forever ago, and why are you talking about it now? Because yada 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 yada. It's over, it's been done, you kinda left off at Heart Gold, no one cares anymore. Well, guess what? I have all these photos in my freaking folder, and I have these videos that I already recorded, and actually I have something really cool to say about Twitch Plays Pokemon X. So, I couldn't just go from Heart Gold to Pokemon X without explaining the other things that happened in between, because actually the other, series, they were actually pretty good, even though I didn't watch them. I did actually watch Twitch play Pokemon Black, and I did watch Blaze Black too, and I definitely watched X for a good portion of it, but I did kind of fade out. Like I said, after Gen 3, I just kind of lost interest. It wasn't as good to me. Just the lore wasn't as strong, but then it came back in Pokemon X, and I was actually really, really, really surprised. So if my information about the characters from Black and Black 2 are not necessarily correct, you have to remember that I'm just seeing what I find on the internet, writing it down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember that. Now with Black, I remember more than I remember with Black 2, but yeah, and Black 2, I have no idea what happened there. I was just like, ah, whatever, and I kind of just went away. But I do have some really cool artwork to show you, and I do have a really cool, facts to give you. So if you are a fan of Twitch Plays Pokemon, this is Twitch Plays Pokemon Black, Black 2, and X in one big bundle, so prepare for me talking a lot. Not really. Not any longer than what I normally talk, and I'm still not looking at the camera. I have this issue where I look up in the middle of nowhere, and I don't look at the camera. Anyways, that's off topic. So, let me get my handy-dandy notes here, because I can't remember all the shit on my own. It has literally been so long. I had to go hunting. I had to get on the TPP, like, Wikia. I had to get on the Reddit to find the Wikia. I had to get on TPP Reddit, the subreddit, to get on another site so that I could find the Wikia, and then the Wikia didn't have all the information, so I had to go back to said site, find another site, go through all the live feeds, and etc., 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 and oh my god, you have no idea. Granted, I probably could have just looked it up on YouTube, but I kind of feel like that's cheating, because I feel like I don't do my research. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with Black. And Black, I believe, was actually a ROM of the real Black version. Now, the thing is everybody wanted a female character, but we ended up choosing a male character, and his name was GMYC, which we ended up calling him Jimmy. The game in itself was beaten in 12 days, 18 hours, and 19 minutes, which that's actually normal, and that's actually pretty good considering we're given 20-25 days to beat this game. I remember in Emerald, we thought we were never going to beat the game, and didn't we end up beating it in like 25 days or something? So compare that to all that goes on in Black and White, like the actual like games, and break that down into beating it in 12 days with thousands of people playing. Like, that's actually pretty good. If we had thousands of people playing, because as the generations kind of went up there in numbers, the viewers ended up to really fall. And everybody was saying, oh man, TPP is dead, like, da-da-da-da-da. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue talking about Black now. So, our character Jimmy, the lore surrounding him was actually kind of cool. Not really the lore surrounding him, like, throughout the whole game. He didn't really have a development like Napoleon did. So, like, I can't really say much about his character, but Jimmy in himself, he was a very insecure guy. He was always by himself. He was pretty much a loner, and because he was checking the Interlink so much in the game, they kind of mixed this in and said that the Interlink, rather than being the whole thing that has Dreamworld and blah, was actually an MMO. So Jimmy was actually considered to be addicted to online video games, and his mom was always forcing him to get off of Interlink, and Interlink was the only place where he felt cool and awesome and wanted. He felt like he was doing something with his life when he was playing Interlink. So basically the series with him kind of starts with him playing Interlink, his mom yelling at him to do his homework, and as he's doing his homework, he's reading about the voices. And he's reading about how all these young trainers were supposedly possessed by this entity, and they went off to do really great things. And these were just your normal, average, run-of-the-mill trainers. And so he's sitting there reading about the previous hosts, and he's like, well, if they could do it, I can do it. And he's just like, wow, this could be my opportunity to really get out there and do something amazing, actually do something with my life. Why am I sitting around here? So he took that time after that to become a Pokemon trainer, and eventually he was possessed by the voices. And unlike the other hosts that are like, go away, get out of my head, Jimmy was actually really excited about it, and he would do whatever the voices said. He wouldn't give it a second thought. So anyways, this was actually there was a lot of awesome things that went into this thing. So we ended up getting a Tepig, which is a fire starter, and as you know, the whole Curse of Fire, it was supposed to have ended with Solarion, but obviously it didn't because we ended up releasing our Tepig. Let me see. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, so we ended up releasing our Tepig, and so our party ended up not having any of that. But before I go into the party, I want to give you some awesome facts about the Black playthrough. So we never entered the Hall of Fame because after you beat N and Getsus, you gotta remember that in Black, when you're first going through the E4, you beat the E4, then you have to fight N, catch the legendary Pokemon kind of thing, and then after you catch the legendary Pokemon, you have to battle N, and then after you battle N, you have to battle Getsus, and then after you battle Getsus, you're supposed to go back through the E4, beat Alder, and then you're entered into the Hall of Fame. So the first time going through the Elite Four doesn't really count. Well, the thing is that our game ended shortly after we defeated Getsus, because I guess the streamer just didn't see why we would have to go through to beat Alder. But yeah, so the game pretty much ended, and then we moved to Blaze Black 2. So that was kind of shitty, because Jimmy never got into the Hall of Fame. So he is actually the only host that never made it into the Champion Circle, technically, even though he is still considered an honorary Hall of Fame member, just because he did defeat Getsus and technically beat the game the first time around. So I also kind of know why the streamer did this, because we beat the E4 N and Getsis on the first try. Well, we beat Getsis and N on the first try. My bad. Not the E4. Getsis and N on the first try. But our party was a level 63 Deerling named Fives, had Pokerus. We had a level 69 Joltik called Sparky, which also had Pokerus. We had a level 68 Drudigon named Drew. We had a level 75 Zebstrika named Socorro with Pokerus. We had a level 56 Tranquil called Birdmat with Pokerus. And we had a level 64 Timple named Nanan with Pokerus as well. So did you see a little pattern here? We have a lot of baby Pokemon. Like, that was really our issue. We had so many trolls, so many just bee spammers that the bots, the trolls, and the bee spammers, there were just so many of them in this feed that every time a Pokemon was going to evolve, they instantly pressed B. We couldn't get anything to evolve. And I actually watched this happen firsthand. I think that's why I didn't really get into Black, because we weren't evolving anything, and it was getting really frustrating because the only thing in the chat was bots, spammers, you know, the bee spammers and what. And we couldn't really delete the B button, which people were like, oh, just delete the B button. We couldn't delete the B button, so that was a little bit frustrating. So we actually beat this game with baby Pokemon, but you have to remember, after you defeat the Elite Four and Engetsus the first time in the game, when you go back, they've raised 20 levels. Like, seriously, you're taken out of the first game, and you barely beat that. Then you're put into the second part of the game, and everybody has higher level Pokemon, and even at level 63 and up to 75, we wouldn't have been able to do it because we had baby Pokemon. Evolution would have been necessary, but we were never going to get it, so I feel like the streamer just cut it off and said, no thank you, I don't want to do it. So, yeah, so we were never entered in the Hall of Fame because we never defeated the final champion. Forced evolutions were actually inputted after this. In Black 2, the streamer said, show me that you guys can evolve a Pokemon and I won't force evolutions. But we couldn't do it, so forced evolutions became a thing, where a Pokemon has to evolve if it's evolving and no one can make it stop. Let's see. And as I said, Jimmy was extremely addicted to Enterlink. He loved being possessed by the voices. He was a loner with a fragile personality, which they later compared to our ex-protagonist. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, not only did we release Tepig, but we released our whole party almost a total of 2 times. That's why it was kind of put into the lore that Jimmy was really into having the voices in his head, and they're like, release your party, and he was like, okay, and they're like, go to the PC, and he's like, okay. He was just really willing to do all these things, so he's one of the weirder hosts to where he doesn't hate the voices, he loves the voices because they get him to do really amazing things and feats, and it makes him feel important. So, and I guess, according to the lore, a lot of the other hosts cannot stand Jimmy because he's so energetic, but at the same time, I don't really see the hosts ever meeting each other. Like, to me, it just seems really weird. I know that they met during the World Tournament, which I'm getting to, but yeah, that's something completely different. Okay, so moving on to Black 2. We did not actually play Black 2. We played Blaze Black 2. And if you don't know what Blaze Black 2 is, or if you don't know what Blaze Black and Volt White are, they are ROM hacks of the game where things have been changed. I think it's only the typings that have been changed. So Superior's like Grass Dragon and Masquerain is Bug and Water, and it's really, not really confusing because it actually makes sense. It kind of ties in some loose ends based on A, what the Pokemon looks like, B, what they can learn, C, what just kind of makes the game more interesting. So we ended up playing Blaze Black 2. We ended up getting a female named CLY4, which we just called her Chloe, CLY, or Cly, but I always said Chloe because it just makes sense to me. We beat the game in 16 days, 5 hours, and 34 minutes. This one was a lot harder just because the puzzles of the gym were actually a lot harder. I feel like Skyla was our biggest moment of, OMG, I cannot fucking get this, because she had that fan puzzle, and I think we actually had to have the streamer come in and help us with the fan puzzle because we literally could not get through it. And our rival we named Hugh MR, so we called him Mr. Hugh, but I don't know how much of a role he really played in the game. I didn't watch Blaze Black 2, but what I can tell you is that the game was on a randomizer, so that made it all the more fun. I love it when the games are on a randomizer, because usually, like, you just get, like I said, you just get random Pokemon. You never know what's going to be in the grass. When you find out what is in the grass, you get them, and they usually have different moves than what they normally have, and that's what I really loved about Fire Red. Even though Fire Red was not my favorite, like playthrough of all of them. I thought it was really cool how they did that. So, okay, so here are the fun facts about Chloe. So basically, early lore suggested that she was a teen pop idol, like teen idol pop star kind of thing, and her mom literally forced her to go on vacation to start a Pokemon adventure, thinking that this lifestyle wasn't good for her or not really liking what her daughter had become or something. At least this is what I read. And then the voices ended up possessing her after that. As of like how she handles the voices, I'm really not sure, and I really don't know her personality. I don't know anything about her other than this. I wasn't able to find anything, and it was really, really frustrating. Like I said, the game was on a randomizer. This was the first time beating the game with a fully evolved party, but the only reason that it was done, and the only reason it was able to be this way, is because of the forced evolutions from the previous gen, because they got tired of everybody fucking it up and bee spamming and all this other shit. Our party was it was our first time having so many level 100s on the team. Our team was a level 99 Sceptile, which we called Apom Jr., but I called him Apom J, just because that's what his name, like literally his name was Apom J. Level 100 Leaveney named Zenny, and I like Leaveney, and I think it's like very underused, but yeah, Zenny died a lot, but still cool. We had a level 100 Zoroark named Zoro, which I love Zoroark, but of course that's the one that you get, that's N's Zoroark thing. We have a level 100 Feraligatr named Umbrella Gator, and I was really excited for this. And we had a level 100 Emboar named Wilbur, which I'll get to Wilbur in a minute. And we have a level 100 Umpheasant named Quaffle. Now, Wilbur, which is the Emboar, that was actually pretty cool because it was the Tepig that we started with. So we started with female, we started with the Tepig, which is a fire starter, and everybody was screaming, "Curse of Fire!" But not only did we never deposit this Pokemon into the PC, and if we did, we got him back, he became a fully evolved Emboar at level 100, so not only did we keep our starter, but we finished with our starter. Wilbur is officially the first fire starter to ever go into the Hall of Fame, and Apom J is actually, I think, the first grass starter to go into the Hall of Fame, which was actually really impressive. So we kept our fire starter throughout the whole game. No Pokemon were released, which was really cool. So, yes, we had no releases whatsoever, and we got to, like I said, the World Tournament. We were playing post-game, so not only was this like the first gen outside of Red and Crystal that we actually played the post-game on, but not only that, but we went to the World Tournament, and when we went to the World Tournament, they did something similar like they did with Mount Silver in Heart Gold, where Awu got to fight Alice. Basically what happened was, in the World Tournament, instead of just the normal people that would be in there, they put the hosts in there as the World Tournament. So it was actually host versus host, with all their Pokemon from previous gens and everything. It was actually really cool. But despite this, Gen 5.5, which is what this is oftentimes called, had the lowest rating of any TPP game. Like, literally, the views at its lowest was 200, and the views at its highest was like 800 plus. So we didn't even make it into the thousands. So it was literally like the most sad and pathetic TPP that we had pretty much ever had. So yeah. And I'm debating on whether I should make Pokemon X its own little thing, because yeah, there's just I wouldn't even know how to put it. Well, I guess since I've already done it, we might as well do it. But actually, I think I'm just going to make Black 2 and Black its own little thing, and actually, I think I'm going to leave Pokemon X for a separate video. Like, I didn't think I was going to be doing this, but actually, I'm so excited to talk about Black, or X, not Black, I don't care about them. I'm so excited to talk about Twitch Plays Pokemon X, and just everything that went into that actually, I think I'm going to leave it for another video, and so I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. But, so enjoy the pictures that I've been showing you throughout the whole time. I hope you enjoyed this little quick lesson of lore and how we finished. I'm really sorry that I didn't, like, put as much thought into it as I have my previous Twitch videos. I used to do one for the beginning of a series and the end of the series. Then I just kind of started doing a summary series because it was just a lot easier. And then towards the end, like, during Heart Gold, because I had fallen so off that bandwagon, I kind of just gave up. Half the time I didn't even know what I was talking about, and now that I'm actually doing my research, I still don't really remember much from these because they're so far away. Right now, Twitch Plays Pokemon is playing Pokemon Stadium. I think they're actually challenging the E4, or not the E4, but the Gym Leader Challenge, and they're about to complete it. And Oris is coming out soon, so Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is coming out soon, and Twitch will be playing that as well because we use an actual 3DS to play it, as you'll find out in the next video. So go ahead and hit like if you like this video, and if you want to see more about Twitch Plays Pokemon, I'll be sure to make those for you, or at least for Oris. And I'm gonna make X anyways. But yeah, so go ahead and hit like if you like this video, and if you want to see more, thank you for tuning into Sam's Talks. Feel free to leave a comment down below of any of your favorite parts from Gen 5 and Gen 5.5. Let me know if I missed anything in the lore that was really, really fascinating, or if I just missed anything in general, which I will miss a lot, I already know. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video for Pokemon X, and look forward to it, because I got some awesome stuff in store for you. So, this has been Samatari out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Alright, ciao you guys.